Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel and for another cycling adventure. This morning I find myself in the Peak District in the village of Hartington, nestled in the Derbyshire Dales. It is freezing cold this morning, the sun's just come up. As you can see, it's really frosty, so I'm not going to hang about. I'm going to get on the bike, I'm going to get going, and then I'll tell you my plan. Okay, so the plan I have today is a loop taking in the Manifold Valley and part of the Tissington Trail. So to do that, firstly I need to leave Hartington and head back over the border, over the River Dove, back into Staffordshire. So I've made it to Hume End, and this is the start of the bike ride proper from here, because this is the gateway to the Manifold Valley. Here is the former Hume End station, which was the northern terminus of the Leek and Manifold Light Railway. Now, the railway closed in 1934, so it's long gone, but these beautiful station buildings still remain. And from here, the plan is to follow the track bed of the former railway, which is now the Manifold Way, and that'll take us deep into the valley past the spectacular Thor's Cave. Once I've passed Thor's Cave, my plan is then to leave the Manifold Valley, and that's a part of the ride I'm not looking forward to so much, because it's a huge climb out of the valley up to the village of Wetton. Then I'll descend into the adjacent valley of the River Dove to Milldale, where I'm going to cross the river and the border back into Derbyshire. From there, my plan is then to take on a second huge climb, because I'm a glutton for punishment, and that will take me to Allsop and Milldale, which is on the Tissington Trail, which follows the former Ashbourne to Buxton Railway. The Tissington Trail then will take me back to Hartington to complete the loop. The sun is finally coming out and it's turning into a beautiful winter's morning here as we head along the Manifold Way. The River Manifold in full flow today. Oh, what's that on the gate? Don't be caged by anxious feelings. There's a world out there. Embrace all of its meanings. And that's from brother_nature on Instagram. So there we go. Thank you very much, Brother Nature, for those wise words this morning. Right, let's embrace all of the nature of the Manifold Valley, as our mate suggests. So as we pass over the River Manifold again, we come to the railway tunnel, former railway tunnel, here at Swainsley. Now, I need to make sure that my light is on, because this section of the Manifold Way is actually part of a public road. Well, that was cool. Well, we've made it to Wetton Mill, and this is really nostalgic for me because back in the 80s and 90s, when I was a kid, my mum and dad and I used to bike to here from Hume End or from Waterhouses, and while my mum and dad would sit and have a cup of tea in the cafe, I would be exploring the riverbank or climbing up behind the cafe to look at the caves. And I haven't been back here for many years, so it's bringing back some really good memories. So if I remember rightly, the road through the valley splits into two here, and if you take the right hand fork, you have to go across a ford. And I remember playing in this ford with my dad on many a summer's day when I was a kid. But that is looking quite deep, and it is in full flow. And this early in the ride, I don't fancy falling off, so yeah, that is deep. I am going to go down the other way and be a wimp and go over the bridge. I bet younger Dave would have biked through that without even thinking twice, but it's freezing cold and I don't fancy falling off, so over the bridge I go, and onwards down this beautiful valley as the sun is breaking through the mist. It is wonderful. So the reason there are now two parallel roads down this section is we're on the left hand side, which is the track bed of the former railway, and you can just see over there the lane, which was just the original roadway. And shortly they merge together, and once again we follow the track bed of the railway as we go deeper into the valley past Thor's cave. Thor's cave, named of course after the Norse god Thor. Limestone cave sitting high above the Manifold Valley, and probably one of the most iconic landmarks of the Peak District. I'm heading now southwards along the Manifold Way towards Weeks Bridge, and then I'll be leaving the valley and heading up the valley side towards the village of Wetton. Time to leave the Manifold Way behind and start the climb out of the valley up towards the village of Wetton. God, that's steep. I'm gonna have to go wide. What a view. But no time to stop. Gotta keep pedaling. So I've made it to the summit and now I am officially out of the Manifold Valley. But before I continue and while I get my breath back, it's amazing just to stop for a few moments and have a look at this wonderful view back into the valley and the river Manifold far below. And to think that not long ago I was down by that river biking along nice and flat. But no sooner do I leave one valley that I'm about to descend into another one, and this time it's the valley of the River Dove. I'll be passing through the village of Wetton shortly before descending towards Milldale, where I'll cross the River Dove and head into Derbyshire. Well, that was a really fun descent from Wetton down into the valley of the River Dove. And now I find myself in beautiful Milldale. The sun's come out and it's a fantastic winter's day. I think I could just sit here forever. I don't want to get on my bike again, and the thought of the ascent out at the other side, I don't even want to think about that at the moment. I think I'm just going to sit here for a while and enjoy this beautiful picturesque location. Now, as much as I'd love to just sit on the riverbank for the rest of the day in the sunshine, I have got to get going shortly. But before I do, I just want to go and take a look at the Packhorse Bridge here. This is Viator's Bridge, and it's a crossing point to the River Dove here at Milldale, which lets you hop across from Staffordshire, where I am, to Derbyshire on the other side of the bridge. Time to leave Milldale now and cross the River Dove. And now I have another climb out of the Dove Valley. I've made it out of the valley now, and I'm just having a breather at Allsop Station, which is a former station on the Ashbourne to Buxton railway line, nowadays known as the Tissington Trail. And now we're going to head north along the Tissington Trail, because the next stop, the next station, is Hartington. Well, that was a lovely cup of tea here at Hartington Station, and I'm fully refueled now. I really needed that. My legs ache quite a lot after the climbs out of the Manifold Valley and then the Dove Valley. The good thing is now that my route back to the car is downhill. Now, even though I'm at Hartington Station, I'm not in Hartington Village. The village itself is actually some 2 miles away down the dale. So I'm going to enjoy the last leg of today's ride with a lovely sweeping downhill through the valley back to Hartington. Well, that's the end of the ride. I've made it back here to Hartington. The sun's come out now. It's a lot different than this morning when it was 0 degrees and frosty everywhere. I really enjoyed that ride. I hope you guys did too. If you did, give the video a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to the channel too, so you don't miss out on any more cycling adventures like this. I'm going to go and rest my aching legs. I'll see you again soon. Bye.